Hi viewers, I am Dr. Velavan, Faculty School of Management, Shastra University. I have been discussing about return and forms in GST. In the last session we discussed about the sections regarding the returns as well as forms you have to be filed, and we discussed from 37 to I think 39. Okay, section 37 is for furnishing details of outward supplies. So in this regard we have to submit the details of outward supplies. Outward supplies means sales. So whenever we sell our products, we have to collect tax from the consumer. This tax is called outward tax. So here we have to inform to the government how much we have collected as outward tax from the customers. This is what deals section 37. Okay, and 38 furnishing details of inward supplies, GST I and GST II, and furnishing return GST III-B is called section 39. So now you have wait. I'll show returns to you. This is what GST I. This return is for details of outward supply of goods or services. So already I showed you what are all the informations we have to furnish, we have to give in this detail. We discussed in the earlier class, okay, session. So no problem. Once again you see these are all the informations we have to give at the time of filing GST I. Okay, so here in 1, serial number 1, before that you have to give year and month, in which year and which month you are filing GST I. So both will be given in the top of the form. Then GST IN, your GST number, the legal name of the registered person. A legal name of the registered person means the name of your, the person who is taking care of all the business administration, or who is the owner, or who is the chairman, who is the board of director, who is the director. Okay, elsewhere. So legal name of the registered person, trade name if any, you have any name of the business you have to mention here. Then aggregate turnover in the previous financial year, total turnover, then aggregate turnover in April to June. So first one is annual, next one is half yearly. Then fourth one is taxable outward supplies made to registered person, including UNI holders, other than supplies covered by taxable by table 6. So this information will be given in 4. Okay, then so you read the information and table carefully in all the serial number and give the relevant information. Then finally you have to submit. So this is what the procedure for filing GST I, my dear students. Okay, see, these are all the informations you have to give. You need not worry about that. This format is available in the net. Whenever you have a time, simply you type in Google forms of returns of GST. Okay, the different returns are different forms. Okay, you can easily get and refer. Okay. Nil rated, exempted and non-GST outward supplies. But you have to understand one important information. What are all the sales you have, whether they are exempted or nil rated or non-GST, no problem at all. You have to enter here because you have to give the detail about your total overall turnover, not only for taxable turnover. Okay. So these are all the informations you have to give. I think totally you need to give 13 numbers, the serial numbers 13. The last one is very, very important. Document issued during the tax period. What are all the documents you issued? Everything will be listed out here, and you give the detailed information from to total number. Suppose you have cancelled anything, also mentioned in this column. Okay. So this is what form 1, my dear students. Okay. Then next one is, you see, next one is GSTR 2. You see, I will show one by one. This is GSTR 2. The details of inward supplies of goods or services. Inward supply means purchase. Whenever you buy a product, at that time you have to give the detailed information in this supply. Okay. 1 minute. Yes. So details of inward supplies of goods or services. So here what is your total purchase? Overall your supplies. Okay. How much you pay? How much input tax you paid? Okay. How much you paid? I mean you paid input tax. So what is your total input tax paid? Everything will be shown here, my dear students. Okay, you see details of inward supply of goods or services. Here also you have to write the year. I think 2023. 2023. Okay. Then month maybe May or June, July. Your GST number. Then legal name. Then trade name. Some common information you have to give all the forms. GSTR 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then here you see inward supplies received from a registered person other than supplies attracting reverse charge. So here, whenever you pay reverse charge, you have a transaction regarding the reverse charge mechanism. You have not given. You will not given here because you have to give separately in next column. Okay. So this is inward supplies received from a registered person other than supplies. Okay, good. So these are the informations they ask you how to give. You read carefully and give the information correctly. That is very, very important. Okay. And here inward supplies on which tax is to be paid on reverse charge. So in serial number 3, you have to give information regarding only registered person, regarding only the transaction with the registered person, other than reverse charge mechanism. But here you have to give only the information regarding reverse charge, not registered persons at all. Then 4A, inward supplies received from a registered supplier attracting reverse charge. Then inward supply received from unregistered supplier. Then import of services. Import of services. Now all the informations you have to give. Okay. Then input capital goods received from overseas or from economic zone on a bill of entry. That is very, very important. Okay. Input capital goods received from overseas or special economic zone. You have to give this information. Okay. Then whenever you have imports, you give the detailed information regarding imports here. Okay. Then received from CHES, special economic zone. Then here you have to give all total accessible value here. Then in form GSTR II, sixth one, amendments to details of inward supplies furnished in returns for earlier tax period in table 3, 4 and 5. Okay. So this detail will be given here. Then seventh one is, these are all the other informations regarding serial number 6. Supplier other than import of goods, you read carefully. Then by way of import goods, then debit note, credit note, original. Here you have to give the detail about the debit note, credit. Then debit note, credit note, amendment of debit note, everything will be submitted here. Okay. Then supplies received from composition taxable person and other exempt nil rated non-GST supply. So supply received from composition taxable person. Those who are doing business in composition business scheme, probably restaurant, etc. So when you have a transaction with them, here you have to give the details. Okay. Both interstate and intrastate, everything you have to give. Then IST, credit received. Then IST invoice, everything. Then here you have to give consolidated statement of advance paid and advance adjusted on account of receipt of supply. Then information for the current month, interstate, intrastate, everything rate wise. Amendment of information furnished in table 10. Then input tax, credit reversal and reclaim, everything you have to give here. Then addition and reduction of amount in output tax for furnishing mismatch and other reasons. Anything you have, give detail. Then Hutchison summary of inward supplies. So what are the list of product you buy? You give here with Hutchison number. So this is what GST II, my dear students. Okay. These are all the abbreviations they used in this table. Here they have given an expansion. Okay. This is what GSTR. Okay. Now I will show you GSTR III. Okay. GSTR. What is 2A? You have to see. 2A. Is detail of auto drafted supplies. Auto drafted supplies. Okay. This is an acknowledgement. That's all. This is an acknowledgement given by the GST authorities, but this is not, you need not submit or file 2A. When you file 2, this will automatically generate. I mean 2A will automatically generate based on the information which you have given in GSTR II. Okay, that's all. Okay, these are the inputs you give already. Based on that, this form will generate it. I think this I think this is one way of acknowledging your details which you have given at the time of filing GSTR 2. Okay, that's very simple. This is what GSTR 2A, dear students. Okay. Okay. Then you have to see now GSTR 3. That is very important, and we'll go to 3 and yeah. GSTR 3 is for monthly return, because already I told you in GST regarding filing of return, we have to file monthly return, quarterly return, half-yearly return, annual return, and final return. So all the returns we have to file periodically, and also within the time frame. That is very important. So monthly return, this return you have to file every month. So every month you have to file this return. Okay, every month you have to file from January to December or April to March. Here you give, this is auto populated. Once you registered, the information will come here automatically. So auto populated, you need not give again and again this information, but you have to give the detail about the your turnover. Okay, so the number 1 is turnover, I think 1 is your number, 2 is for information regarding about your business, and 3 is information regarding your turnover. So type of turnover, taxable, zero rated supply without the payment of tax, then on payment of tax, deemed export, okay, deemed export, and exempted, nil rated, non-GST supply. So everything you have to list out one by one. Then outward supplies, interstate supplies, net supply for the month. Okay, so here you have to give interstate monthly transactions. Okay, monthly transactions. Here also you have to classify the turnover based on the taxable, exempted, zero rated, nil rated. Okay, and also you have to give intrastate supply, also along with all relevant information. Okay, then tax effect of amendments made in respect of outward supplies. Okay, tax effect amendment made of outward supplies. Do you have any information regarding integrated tax, then central state GST and state or UTGST and CHES? You have to give number of net differential value. Do you have any difference? Sometimes it will happen. You registered, your supplier may not be registered, and they have not registered properly. In that time, the difference will come. Okay. Inward supplies attracting reverse charge, including import of services. Okay, inward supplies attracting reverse charge mechanism. Do you have any information regarding this topic? You have to give. Then tax effect of amendments in respect of supplies attracting reverse charge. Okay, and also input tax credit. This is very important. Do you have any ITC? You give the detail. Okay, description, trade value, amount of tax, and other information. Okay, everything will be uploaded here. Then addition and reduction of amount in output tax for mismatch. Do you have any mismatch or difference? Here you have to give the detailed information. Then total tax liability. So what is your total tax liability? Here you have to show on on outward supply, on inward supply, subtract reverse charge, on account of input tax credit reverse charge mechanism, on account of mismatch, and everything will be given and adjust between, and finally you give. Okay. The credit of TDS and TCS, tax deducted source and tax collected at source, integrated, central and state and UTA. Okay. Interest liability, anything you have, you give. Output liability on mismatch, ITC claimed on mismatched invoice on account of other ITC reversal, undue excess claim on account, internet liability, delay in payment of tax, total interest liability, integrated tax, central tax, state, everything. Whenever you have information, you give, otherwise you mark as nil. Okay. If anything late fee is applicable, you give. Then tax payable and paid. Okay. Here tax payable, paid in cash, paid through ITC, it is set off. Then final tax paid. Okay, that's integrated tax, centrals, everything. Okay. Then interest late fee. Okay, good. Then refund claim from electronic cash ledger, integrated tax, central tax, state uses, cess. Whenever you paid in excess, that amount will be refunded. Okay. Debit entries in electronic cash credit ledger, debit entries in the electronic cash credit ledger for tax interest payment. Okay. Then final. This is what GSTR 3. Okay, monthly return. So you have to see the return. So now you can understand easily what are the informations they required. Okay. Yeah. Now I am going to show GSTR 3A and B. GSTR 3A, notice to return defaulter under section 46 for not filing return. Those who are not filing the return, they have to file 3A within the 15 days. Within the 15 days of the notice which is issued by the proper authorities. So this is what 3A, very simple, nothing. Okay, but 3 is very, very important. And 3B, 3B, yeah, 3B, this is very, very important. Form GSTR 3B, year and month, GSTR, legal name, and details of outward supply, inward supplies, liable to reverse charge. Okay. Only reverse charge, not registered and all, because they are given already. Then of the supplier shows 3.1 about details of interstate supplies made to unregistered. Okay. Then eligible ITC. ITC available, whichever is fully or partly, whatever it may be, integrated, central and state and chess. Okay. Import. I hope you know these are all the different charges of GST. Okay. IGST, CGST, UPGST, or GST and chess, compensation chess. ITC available. Import goods and services, inward supplies, then inward supplies from AST, input services to put out, other all other ITC, then ITC reversal, net ITC available, ITC ineligible ITC, then final payment. So this is the calculations, okay, we made at the time of calculation of input tax, okay. Then number of supplies, okay, then payment of tax. Here you have to pay after adjusting input tax credit. After adjusting input tax credit, you have to pay. This is what 3B, my dear students, okay, 3B, good. But you see here, yeah. GST 3B can be submitted electronically. Here this form should be submitted electronically, and nil GSTR 3B can be filed through an SMS and has no entry in any table. Suppose you don't have any transactions, so here you need not fill all the details, simply you send a SMS, we don't have any transactions, okay. Nil GST 3B cannot be filed if the taxpayer has made any outward supplies or reversed supplies that are taxable under reverse charge mechanism. No problem at all. Then content of GSTR 3B already shown you. GSTR information, then tax period, year and month. It is also a monthly return. Supplied, summarized detail outward supply and inward supplies. Summarized interstate and intrastate. Then unregistered person composition schema. Then UNI holders. Then unique identity number. Then eligible and ineligible ITC, value of exempt, nil rated everything, payment and TDS and credit. These are the information already shown you. These informations are available in form 3B, you see, form 3B, okay. Form 3B, you see, yeah, this is form 3B, you see. Yeah, GSTR legal and inward supplies, ITC reversed, everything, payment of tax, TDS, TCS, credit. So this is what available in the where GSTR 3B, okay, you see. The next one is return for composition supplier under GSTR 4. This is very, very important. This return is applicable only for composition supplies. Okay, composition supply. They are a special GST followers. Okay, the persons required to file return composition supplier. Number one, those who are eligible. Then due date GSTR 4 for the financial year 30th April from the end of the financial year annual return. You see, 4 for a financial year 30th April from end of the financial year. So when your financial year is finished or end, from the date of end, within the next 4 months you will take, 3 months you will take, and 4 months you will take, and you have to file before 30th April. That is very, very important. Then GST composition 08, okay, form 08, 18th day of the month of succeeding quarter, the quarterly payment. When you pay the quarterly payment, the succeeding quarter, 18th day of the month of succeeding quarter. That is very, very important. Okay. Then auto population of inward supplies in GSTR 4A. So once you file GSTR 4, the 4A will be auto populated. will be auto populated. Okay. So this is 30th April from the end of the financial year. Take for example, your end of the financial year is 31st December. '23. So you have to file GST 4 on 30th April of 24. That is the due date. Okay. GST 08, 18th day of the month of succeeding quarter. So 30th April. The next quarter, May, June, July. Okay. January, February, March, first quarter. April, May, June. So 18th day of the month of succeeding the quarter. So month of the 30th. So May 18th. The next month is May and 18th day of the month. So this is very, very important. Then auto populated in inverse supply 4A will be given. So what is 4A? You see. I will show. What is 4A? One minute. 4A here. Wait. This is 4A. Auto drafted details for registered person opting for composition entry. So this form is auto populated based on the GST 4. Okay, you see. So here you give year, quarter, GSTIN, legal name of the registered person. No problem, because it's auto populated based on return 4. Then inward supplies received from registered person including supplies attracting reward charge, and inward supply received from a registered supplier other than supplies attracting reward charge. Then inward supplies received from a registered supplier attracting reward charge. Okay, debit note, credit note. Then TDS credit received, everything. These are the informations you have to give in for my dear students. Okay, this is for me. Now you see, this next one. Four we have discussed. Then content activity. Yeah, this is one. The regular taxpayer to composition taxpayer opt for composition scheme. The due date for filing. The due date for return relating to period prior to opting composition scheme, whichever is earlier. So regular taxpayer, suppose you are the regular taxpayer now, but you like to transfer from this scheme to composition scheme. So when you are going to switch over your, from the present tax system to composition taxpayer, up to the date you have to file the regular return. So this will be filed before the whichever is lower of the earlier of the following. Due date of furnishing, the date of month of September for the succeeding financial year. Due date of furnishing the return for the month of September. So probably 10th of October. Okay, then because the next 10th day you have to file. Furnishing of annual return of the preceding financial, 31st December, whichever is earlier, obviously 10th October. Then composition taxpayer to regular taxpayer exit from composition scheme. Okay. Then the previous case, regular taxpayer will switch over to composition taxpayer scheme. Here the composition taxpayer will switch over to regular taxpayer. Here when they switch over from composition taxpayer to regular, prior they have to file GST for 30th April from the end of the financial year, and GST composition scheme 8, the 18th day of the succeeding, whichever is earlier. Okay. Then GST 5, return for non-resident taxable persons. GST 5 returns for non-resident taxable persons. Non-resident taxable persons are very, very important. This is GST 5 monthly return in form GST 5. So they have to file a monthly return. This return form is GST 5. Last date for filing GST 5 within 20 days after the end of the calendar month, or within 7 days after the last day of the validity period. Requires no annual return. So this is very, very important. They need not file the annual return. And payment of interest and penalty fee or any other amount, and due date for payment of tax, usually the avoidance, but before the due date of filing the return. You have to pay everything before the due date of filing the return, no problem, unless otherwise you have to pay the penalty and file it. Okay. Now you see, I will show the GST 5 for you for reference. Okay. GST 5. This is GST 5, my dear students. Yeah, return for non-resident taxable person. Here you have to write year and month, GST number. They are auto-populated because already you filed GSTR 1, 2, everything. So once you filed the previous returns, the information will be auto-populated here. You need not enter again and again here. Okay. You see, input and capital goods received from overseas, because non-resident, definitely they import goods from others. Okay. Details of bill of entry, number, date, value, rate, what rate, the taxable value, integrated and cess. Here CGST, HGST, UTGST will not come, because when we import and export goods, we have to pay and collect the ITGST. Okay, ITGST, integrated goods and service tax. The amount of ITC, if anything you have adjusted, then pay. Amendment in the details furnished in any earlier return. Do you have any amendment? Changes. It has to be also updated here. Okay. So original details, revised details, and difference, bill of entry, rate, taxable value, amount, everything will be here. You see carefully and give the details carefully. No problem, but everything will be given and done through internet. No problem. Okay. Taxable outward supplies made registered person, including UNI, when you have a unique identity number, probably non-resident. Then taxable outward interstate supplies to unregistered person where invoice value is more than 2.5 lakh. Good. Then taxable supplies net of debit note and credit note to unregistered person other than the supplies mentioned able sales. Then intra-state supply, consolidated state price. Then interstate supplies where the value of invoice up to 2.5 lakh per. Okay. Then other informations here. Amendment to taxable outward supply details furnished in return for earlier tax period in table 5 and 6. You see, read, and you have then upload unless there is no problem. Then amendments to taxable outward supplies to unregistered person furnishing in returns for earlier tax period. Okay. The tax period for which the details are being revised. Then interstate supplies, total tax liability including reverse charge liability. Then on account of outward, whatever the information you have, you give. The tax payable and paid after adjusting all. Okay. Integrated tax, central tax, state utility tax and cess. But here this is adjustment only. Okay. Then interest, late fee and any other amount payable and paid, you see. That's all. This is interest on account of integrated, then central, state, this late fee on account of central and state. After adjusting, this is refundable. Okay. Then debit entries in electronic cash ledger and all. This is what GST 5. Okay. GSTR 5. Understand about the GST or 5. Good. Now, rectification of error, omission can be done. Then revision of return not allowed. And rectification of account of scrutiny, audit, inspection, enforcement and activities not allowed. Rectification subsequent return allowed within whichever is earlier. Okay. Once you give the information carefully, because they will not allow you to file the revised return. It is one-time submission. That is very, very important. Okay. Rectification is subsequent return. Once they have finished their process, then ask you to file one more return. This will be submitted the earlier of the following due dates. The due date for filing the return for September of next financial year or actual date of filing of annual return. That is, these two dates are very, very important. Okay. Note that the return furnished under section 39 on which self-assessed tax has been paid in full is considered a valid return. Filing of return for the current month is possible only when returns of the previous month have been filed, not succeeding or preceding months. The taxpayer needs to electronically sign the submitted return, otherwise they will be considered not filed. You have to put your electronic signature. Okay. Taxpayer can electronically sign their return using DS, mandatory for all type of companies and LLB, e-sign, Aadhaar based OTP verification, EVC electronic verification code sent to a registered mobile number of the authorized signatory. So you see, these are all the informations you have to keep in your mind at the time of filing the various returns. Okay, good. Now we are going to solve problems for your understanding. Mr. Akash obtained registration under a regular scheme. He asked Mr. Mohan, his tax manager, to pay GST on quarterly basis. However, Mr. Mohan advised Mr. Ashok to pay GST on monthly basis. You are required to examine the validity of the advice given by Mohan. Mr. Akash obtained registration under regular scheme. Okay. He asked Mr. Mohan, his tax manager, to pay GST on quarterly basis. However, Mohan advised Mr. Akash to pay GST on monthly basis. You are okay. Need to fill the return monthly and payment of tax is linked with the due date of the filing the return. So, once you run a business on regular basis, you have to file the monthly return. Not wait for quarterly return. You have to file monthly return, and quarterly return also you have to file. But before filing the quarterly return, you have to file the monthly return first. Okay. This is the advice. I think it's a correct advice. The next one, Mr. Prakya, taxpayer registered under a regular scheme. Okay. Files GST at 3B for the month of October on 20th November. Okay. October and 20th November. Okay. 20 days. After filing the return, she discovered that the value of taxable supply has been underreported. Okay. Prakya now wants to file reverse GST at the examiner. Okay. Return once filed cannot be amended, but can amend the details of GSTR 1 in the next year. So, once you file the GSTR 3B, it cannot be changed, but again you have to file GSTR 1, I mean monthly return you have to file. Okay. Separately. Other returns. Number 1, section 40, first return. The registered person can issue revised return, hence the first return contains details of outward supply after becoming liable to registration but before grant the certificate of registration. Details of outward supplies made in first taxpayer after grant the certificate of registration. So, this is what first return. This is very important because you are going to intimate about your business to the government. Okay. So, the first return is very important. You have to file the first return very careful. Okay. Then, section 44 is annual return. Persons required to furnish annual return, all registered persons except casual tax persons, they need not file annual return. Non-resident taxable person, no, not necessary. Input service distributor, no. Persons authorized to deduct and collect tax at source, no. Persons supplying YDR, online distribution and services for outside India and unrepresented person, no. Unregistered person in India, no. So all the above 5 persons, they need not file annual return to the government. They have to file only, I think, quarterly return or monthly return. Okay, good. The due date is before 31st December of the next financial year. That is very important. Once you file the annual return, it should be the last date of the next financial year. Prescribed form of annual return GSTR 9 is to be filled electronically. GSTR 9 is for compository scheme supplier. So now you have to see, I will show what GSTR 9 is. GSTR 9 is very important. This is reconciliation statement. That is 9, 6, 7, 9. Yeah. Yes. GSTR 9 is annual return. It has to be filed all registered persons. It is very important. Those who are registered their business, they have to submit. Okay, all registered persons. The basic detail here. Financial year, GST number, legal name, trade name, and details of outward and inward supply made during the financial year. Total will give one by one all the details. Okay. Then 4 details of advances, inward and outward supplies made during the financial year. Supplier made unregistered person, B2C, B2B, chess. Then supply to chess on payment tax, deemed export, advances on which the tax has been paid, invoices. Okay. Then inward supplies on which tax is to be paid or reverse charge. Then credit note issued, debit note issued, tax, everything. Tax declared to. Then details of outward supplies made during the financial year on which tax is not payable. Zero rated, supply of chess without tax payment, supplies which exempted, nil rated, non-GST supplies. Then okay, and credit note issued in respect of transaction specified, debit note issued, supplies declared, everything. Because it is an annual return, you have to give the detailed information and the turnover on which tax is not to be paid. Then details of ITC here, ITC you give here, ITC available, total amount of input tax credit. Okay, because already we have given form 3, 3B, ITC. Then inward supplies other than output and input capital goods import service, input capital goods import service. Inward supplies from unregistered person, this is for okay. Then inward supplies received from registered persons, all the 3 category. And import of goods, import of services, reverse charge, ITC reclaimed. Then details of ITC reversed and ineligible, 237, 39, 42, 43, 42 is for first return. Then tran 1 credit, 2 credit, transaction 1 and 2. All informations regarding ITC here. This is for part 3. Part 4 is details of tax paid declared in returns filed during the financial year. Integrated tax, CGST, GST, and chess, interest, late fee, penalty, others. Then 5 particulars of the transaction for the financial year declared in return of the next financial year. Supplies tax declared. Okay. Then supplies tax deducted through amendment, reversal ITC. Then differential tax paid on account of declaration, integrated GST and all. And other information, particulars, demand, refund. Okay, everything will be given here. We give because it is an annual return. We have to give the detailed information. You see, total refund rejected, total refund pending, total demand of taxes, total taxes paid instead of E, total demands pending out of E, everything. You have to give compulsory here, my dear students. Okay. Then information, 1 minute. Next, information on supplies receiving from composition taxpayer, deemed supplier under section 143, and goods sent on approval basis. Okay, this information is also given. Then HSN wise summary of output, you have list out one by one here. Then HSN wise summary of inward supplies. This is what outward supplies. Then last date, late fee and paid central sales tax, then verification. So you see, these are the informations you have to give. Total you have to give 19 informations elaborately. Okay, that is very important. This is what you see, GSTR 9 annual return. Okay. This is annual return. Okay. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and 1, 2, 3A, 3B, 4 details of loans, then 5 details of outward supplies made during financial year, then 5 Part 3, 6, 7, 8, that's all. So you have to go through the information which are contains in GSTR 9. Good. Then GSTR 9 is auto populated, no problem. Okay. Then required to furnish reconciliation statement under 35. So every registered person must get his accounts audited by chartered accountant or cost accountant if his aggregate turnover during the financial year exceed 2 crores. Once your turnover exceed 2 crores, you have to audit your accounts with your chartered accountant or cost accountant. They have to be certified. The registered person is required to furnish electronically through the common portal along with the annual return copy of the audited annual account and reconciliation statement duly signed in the prescribed form. So this is very, very important. Then section 45, final return of GSTR 10. This is the final return filled by every registered person whose register has been surrendered or cancelled. Then time of furnishing the final return. Final return has to be filled 3 months of the date of cancellation and order of issue cancellation. You see here, this is for who are cancelled their cancellations. This is very important. Their registration. So once you register a business, you have to file one final return. This return should contain all the information up to the date of cancellation. This is what GSTR 10, my dear students. Okay. So now I will show the GSTR 10. I show the GSTR 10. GSTR 10. Where is GSTR 10? Yes, GST 10 final return. GST number, legal name, trade name, address for future correspondence. Then the effective date of cancellation, when you cancelled, reference number, cancellation order, date of cancellation order. Detail of input, what are the stocks you have in your hand, both capital, everything should be given here. Okay. Then amount of tax payable and paid should be given here. And interest, late fee payable and paid should be given here. That's it. Time of cancellation, what are the stocks or capital goods you have should be given in detail. This is called number 8. This is very important. So this is for final return. Okay. Annual return should be filed a person, those who are doing the business regularly. But the final return should be filed a person who a person who cancelled their registration or business. So, to understand about the details of various returns to be filed, and we have to discuss few more slides, and we will discuss later. Okay, I think in the next session. Okay, thank you.